Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm so glad you're here. In this video, I'm going to talk about all the books I've read in the month of March. The number of books I've read is 7 2/3. Yes, unfortunately, I couldn't read the whole book in March, so I left a third of it for April. But as I'm filming this, it is April 1st and I've already finished the book, and that book I'm going to include in this wrap-up because I feel like that third that I've read this month, I'm just going to forget till my April wrap-up, so I'm going to do it all here. And my average rating for the month was 3.7. In this video, where we picked my March TBR, I picked 7 books, and out of those 7 books, I read 3. Well, technically 4, 3 and 2/3, because that one book that I read 2/3 of was in my TBR indeed. So let's just say 4. It sounds better. So I didn't do a good job, but I didn't do a terrible job either. So I am satisfied with how it went, even though I do wish I read all the books in my TBR, but maybe we'll do that in April, hopefully. Also, all the books I've read and all the books I'm going to talk about right now, I've read in my reading vlogs. So if you want to see those, I'm going to add all the links in the description so you can go and watch my thoughts and feelings throughout the reading process, because here I'm just going to run through and tell you my readings and shorter thoughts. I started off month with reading Interesting Facts About Space by Emily R. Austin. I rated the book 3 stars because it was one of those books that I feel nothing towards. It was interesting while I was reading it, but besides that, I haven't thought about the book twice, so I didn't think it deserves any higher rating. It was definitely something unusual, something I've never read before, and I liked it for that. Also, the plot was intriguing enough for me to want to continue reading. That's why I read it in like 2 or 3 days, I think. Next books that I've read in the same video as Interesting Facts About Space is We Were Liars by Lockhart. I rated the book 2.5 stars because it was not my favorite. I liked it, but also not really. I remember I talked about this in my video, but for the whole time I've been reading the book, I had this deja vu feeling that I've already read the book. I haven't read the book, but I feel like I've read something so similar that for the whole time, except for the ending, it felt extremely similar. I think I was expecting something more because I know how beloved this book is, but it did not live up to my expectations and I was left kind of disappointed. Next book was actually a reread for me. It is The Hunger Games by Suzanne Collins. First 5-star of the month, thankfully. I thought I would have none. I mean, I knew that I would love this book because obviously it is a reread and I've already read it some time ago and I watched all the movies and I'm just obsessed with the universe, so of course I knew it would be a 5-star and I extremely enjoyed my time reading it. Again, it is in the vlog and you can go and see that because I had a quite emotional experience with this book. It took me through all the spectrum of emotions. Unfortunately, I didn't get to other books in the series this month, but I will in April. Definitely. Fourth book that I read in March, I read in the same video as The Hunger Games. It is Natural Sleep by Marney. At first, I was extremely enjoying the book. It was so fun, it was so quick, and from the first chapter, I was like, yeah, I have high hopes for this book, and I have a high rating hopes for this book, but unfortunately, in the end, it kind of did disappoint me. Kinda. It was not awful, but the outcome, I did not really like it. The ending, or like rather the second part of the book, it's not something I like in the books, especially not in mystery books. I am more of mystery girly rather than thriller girly, and this was, for the second part, it was mainly thriller, and unfortunately I did not really enjoy that. But it still was fun, and it did have similar vibes to the Natural series. That's why in the beginning I really was enjoying it. And I gave this book 3 stars, which I feel like is the rating the book deserves. Then I read one of my really anticipated books. It is Slinger by Rachel Schneider. I feel like I am being such a hater and I hope I don't get hate for what I'm saying, but I did not like this book either. At first it was fun and at first I was really enjoying it, but then it did move, that was my elbow. But then it did move kind of slow and it was not extremely enjoyable for me. That's why I rated it 3.25 stars. The ending did deliver though. It did, but that middle part really lowered my enjoyment of the book. I was just waiting for this stuff to happen, and that stuff literally happened at the very end of the book. I can accept that in mysteries, but not always in fantasy books. I loved romance subplot and their interactions. I found myself giggling a lot. Next fantasy book I read was Heartless Hunter, another extremely hyped up book, and I had such high expectations for that. And in a way, those expectations were met. It was overall not something I extremely enjoyed. It was extreme enemies to lovers. Like, as I said in my video, enemies to lovers at their finest. That I loved because I am enemies to lovers girly, enemies to lovers and slow burn. Spectacular, give me 14 of them right now. And I did like this aspect of the book. I gave the book 4 stars, and I have my explanation why it was not a 5-star. First of all, because I didn't have the feeling for 5 stars. Period. We can stop there because 5 stars is a feeling. Quoting Queen Amy, yes. I didn't really connect with the characters. Gideon, I did not really like him. He was mean, but in an understandable way. Like I understood why he was mean. It's just his whole character. I did not like him. Maybe he's just not my taste. Like I know he's not my taste. I feel like when I don't connect with the characters enough, I don't enjoy the book that much as I could have if I were liking the characters. And Rune also, she was fun, but not always. And like we didn't click. And the ending. I still have not forgiven Kristen Ciccarelli for doing what she did. I knew something like that would happen because it's fantasy book, high stakes, blah blah blah. But why? Why did we need to do that? For the second book, The Rebel Witch, which is the sequel to Heartless Hunter and, well, the ending because it's a duology, I will read it, but I don't think it will be in near future. I'm not really gravitating towards it right now. I have other books on my mind that I really want to get my hands on. Every time you hear that song by Jenna voris, another 5-star, and the first 5-star of the month. That was not a reread, that was the book that I've read for the first time. I said it multiple times in my video where I read it, that it had similar vibes to The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, but not in a way that it was life-altering kind of read. No, it was fun with a sprinkle of trauma and bad things, realistic things in life. But it was similar in the way that, first of all, it had dual timeline, so that was kind of similar because in The Seven Husbands we also have that, but also that we, in the past timeline, we followed a person who wanted to be famous or had a certain goal ahead of her, and she did literally everything to reach that. And reading this book felt like home because The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo is my all-time favorite book. So maybe that's why I enjoyed this book as much as I did. But even if not comparing, it still had immaculate vibes, and the way music was described in this book was so good. It was just so good, and I'm so glad I read it. I wish I read it during summer and not during the weather that we have right now, because it's been raining for 3 straight days. Where's the sun? But maybe I'll reread it one day during the summer and get all those vibes again. And the book that I read 2/3 of in March is None of This Is True by Jewell. As I said, I did finish the book, so I'll give all my reviews. Just keep in mind that this book was not fully read in March, if that matters. I don't think that matters. Anyway, let's ignore that. It moved slow, and it was boring, and I was not liking it while I was reading it. And again, in the video that I was reading it in, I said it multiple times. It felt more of like literary fiction where we were just following these 2 women and their lives. However, it did pick up at the end, and that's when I started to enjoy it. I read all that today. The most interesting stuff I read today. So like the last third of the book was interesting. 2/3 prior to that, not really. I understand why all of that was important to the story. I feel like this is just not my kind of book because, again, it is more of psychological thriller and not a mystery book, and I do enjoy mysteries more than thrillers. I gave it 3 stars, again, because I liked the ending, didn't like literally almost the whole book. I did not see twists and turns coming. I did see a couple, but not all of them. So some things literally left me with my jaw on the floor. Unfortunately, I did not film that because I was lying in my bed looking like a rat this morning right after I woke up and did my skincare. But yeah, I think 3 stars is, again, the perfect rating for this book. And these are all the books I've read in March. Let me know in the comments if you've read any of them and what are your thoughts on them. Or maybe you have some on your current TBR that I've read in March. Let me know. I would really love to read that. Thank you so much for staying here with me. I love and appreciate all of you. And I'll see you in my next video. Bye!